Okay, hi guys, good morning. This is our first in-person meeting in, I think, over 2 years now. So I am so excited about the turnout. I'm so happy. I'm going to go ahead and begin the meeting at 9:43. Claudia's taking notes for us. So welcome everybody. Happy fall. We've got the pumpkins out. We're wishing everybody an amazing Thanksgiving. We have so much to be grateful for. What an incredible event we just had with the gala. Thank you to all of you. We made $100,000, which is quite an amount considering that we sold 123 seats. So thank you to every single person that worked really hard to do that. We're looking forward to our holiday party, which will be held at Patricia Blakemore's house. It's December 8th, the Wednesday night. We're going to have a lot of exciting things to announce in regards to that. We're going to have Santa and Santa photos. So that'll be a super fun social that everyone will be able to enjoy. We're so grateful to have Cancer Support here today to be our guest speakers. We have Jackie Suter and we have Maggie Gallo. So I'd like to give a warm welcome to our guest speakers today. Come on. You bet, Jackie.
I'm Jackie Suter, Director of Development for Cancer Support Community Redondo Beach. And I just want to say thank you so much for having us today. I brought one of our participants, Maggie Gallo, here to share her story. And she's got a kid who has attended our kids community and another child who's attended our Teens Connect programs. So you'll hear firsthand about their experience. But just want to extend a huge thank you to all of you. You're showing up and directly impacting cancer patients and their families here in the South Bay. So the work that you're doing to raise funds, I looked and it's been for the past 8 years, Vistas has generously donated $58,250 for our free support service. Thank you so much. That is totally, I mean, it's absolutely incredible. We are so grateful for your support, and we offer free support services to anyone impacted by cancer and their loved ones. For the past 34 years, we happen to have Redondo Beach in our name because we're physically located on the Redondo Beach Pier, but actually we serve over 77 cities, so the entire South Bay, Long Beach, and Orange County. And we offer support over 200 programs monthly, support groups, healthy lifestyle classes, educational workshops, and free individual and family therapy. So since COVID, we've been virtual and we're on Zoom, and we're really looking forward to having everyone back in person when it's safe for our cancer community who's immunocompromised to do so. But we, since March of 2020, we have offered 1,245 individual counseling sessions, which equates to $186,000 of free therapy if you go to see a therapist. And, you know, we find that doctors in the healthcare industry, they're great at sewing you up and medically taking care of what's, you know, what the issue is, but then there's a whole mental health, emotional components to recovery and longevity with cancer. And we found that that's where we come in and we do the support work and help the family, you know, achieve their overall wellness so that they can embrace after cancer as well. So cancer doesn't just affect the individual, it affects their entire family. So anyone is welcome, best friends, caregivers, grandparents, anyone who's impacted is welcome. We help anyone ages 5 and up, and we have 9 specialized kids and teens programs. And so now I will ask Maggie Gallo to come speak to you today about our program. So I just wanted to say thank you again, and huge thank you to Maggie for being here.
Thank you, Maggie.
Good morning, ladies. My name is Maggie Gallo. I'm a mother of 2 girls, one about to turn 13 and a 9-year-old. God bless you. Last October 2020, in the middle of the pandemic, I was diagnosed with breast cancer stage 3B. At the time, I was working from home and my girls were home with online learning. I had a biopsy on a Thursday, and on Monday, while I was working, I received a call from a nurse to tell me I had breast cancer. When you get a call like that, you feel like someone just dumped a bucket full of ice on your head. I couldn't believe it. My tears started to fall from my eyes. I remember the nurse telling me that she would give me a minute to process her news. Thank you. Before she would continue to give me all kinds of information. My husband saw my tears and knew something was wrong. Once I hung up the call, I had to tell him the bad news, and he started to cry with me. There we were, both crying in the middle of my workday. My workstation is in the middle of the living room, and the girls saw us both crying. They asked me what was going on, what was wrong. We are always honest with our girls, and we don't hide death and illnesses from them. And I also knew that I couldn't hide this from them. At that moment, my life had just been turned upside down. I told them I had cancer. They both started to cry, and now all 4 of us were crying and holding each other. 5 years prior, my cousin had been diagnosed with stomach cancer, and my girls saw him go from a healthy, strong CHP officer into a person who was 100 pounds, and they remember his funeral, and they remembered his 3 little boys he left behind as well. They were afraid that the same would happen to them and to me. They were very scared. About a week later, the hospital gave me information on the social worker they have for cancer patients, information on a few support groups, including cancer support community of Endowment. They suggested that I join one of the groups to help me through my. It took me a few weeks to contact cancer support community. I guess I wasn't ready. I couldn't get around the news that I had received. I finally joined my Thursday group on December 3rd, 2020, a week before I started my chemo. It was the best decision regarding my cancer treatment from everything that I did. I love my group, and it has helped me in so many different ways. It's my 2 hours a week of me time. Teachers always tell you to let them know when there are any major changes in your children's lives. A few weeks after my diagnosis, I had my annual parent-teacher conference. And for my youngest daughter, Emma, I told her teacher that I was diagnosed with breast cancer and asked her if she would check in on Emma to see how she was doing, handling everything that was going on in her life. And she said she would. Well, the entire year went by, and the teacher never asked her how she was doing, how she was feeling, because my daughter would tell me to, like, she hasn't asked me. My oldest daughter, Mimi, on the other hand, she had one teacher she really connected with, and she felt comfortable talking to her about my diagnosis. It so happens that this teacher was also diagnosed with skin cancer, and her mom had breast cancer. So she was able to really relate with her and help her out. And every day after school, after the Zoom class, she would stay on with her and talk to her, and it really made my daughter feel comfortable, and she felt listened to. In the middle of the school year, unfortunately, the teacher's cancer came back, and she had to go on medical leave. I knew my girls needed someone to help them, support them through this journey, more than I could offer them. The staff at Cancer Support told me about the programs available to help children affected by cancer. A few months ago, when I mentioned it to my girls, only Emma was interested in participating. Mimi at 12 didn't want to join the kids and snack group, especially if she was going to be with her little sister. Emma loved the group in her first meeting. She loves talking with her group leader and the other kids in the group. They're all soccer players, so they have a lot to talk about. She looks forward to the first and third Thursday of each month so that she can share everything that has been going on in her life in the previous time with her group. She likes going to her room and joining her group through Zoom. She feels safe sharing her feelings, and she feels that she is heard and that someone cares about what she's going through. I have a very large family, and they have been extremely supportive of me and my journey. They bring me flowers, food, gifts, they call, they text me, but they haven't asked my girls how they're doing, how they're feeling with everything with the cancer, or how how they feel about everything that they've been experiencing on their side. I'm sure it's because it hasn't occurred to them to ask the girls, not because it just doesn't occur to them. But when Emma's in her group, she feels that she does have someone who cares about her, someone who listens to her and wants to know what she has to say. I emailed the children's programming director at Cancer Support and asked if Mimi could join the teen group, even though she was 12. Thankfully, she was able to join the teens chat and chill group. Remember how much she loved her first meeting. That week, she was the only one who attended the group meeting. She spent an hour with the group leader talking about everything and anything. I was overhearing her laughing throughout the conversation. She had a free hour of one-on-one therapy. Now she looks forward to her meetings on the first and third Wednesday of the month. The group helps her talk about everything affecting her life, not just the cancer. Both of my girls have benefited from the teen and kids program at Cancer Support Community. They love having the safe space to share what's going on in their life. They love the fact that it's for them. They've built friendships with the other children in the group. The girls also enjoy the programs that they put out throughout the year for the kids. Right now, they're looking forward to the Christmas workshop where they're going to be building Christmas ornaments. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your financial support to Cancer Support Community. Your financial support has helped my girls personally and the other children affected by cancer. They would not have their group without your support. Thank you for your time.
Jackie, do you want to close out or?
Sure. So much to Maggie for bravely sharing her story with us today, and just wanted to reiterate how all of our services are completely free, and they're only we're only available to do that based on funding from amazing organizations like yourself. So thank you so much. We have helped thousands, I think since 1987, over 25,000 South Bay families with cancer. And just a quick moment, since we're Maggie's talking about her breast cancer. October was Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and if you, for any reason during COVID, have put off just getting a checkup or anything like that, I know it's easy to do, but what we're seeing, we welcomed 550 newly diagnosed cancer patients since March of 2020. And what we're seeing, unfortunately, is them coming in advanced stages because they've kind of put off that early detection, which is really important. So just a gentle reminder, if you can make that appointment, and it's really important. Also, I've left some material. If you know of anyone who may be benefited by our services, please take a flyer. We're happy. We're here to help anyone in need. So thank you again.
Oh, yes.
Anyone
who has a question?
Jackie, Gail Marcom.
Hi,
We've been
Gail.
able to see each other on Zoom so much over the last few years. I just wanted to personally thank you for what the Cancer Support Community does. I have friends and family members who have benefited greatly from your services. So it touches my heart very much. And to know that you're helping kids, as Maggie mentioned, she has a loving family, but it's always really hard to ask a child how they're doing with this. because you don't even know how to have that conversation. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Gail. I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you for your time. I was talking to another mom. I'm a mom of a PD high child, and I was talking to another mom who has cancer, and she has a 13-year-old daughter in our community, and her daughter was starting to have, issues at home. Like, she was angry, she didn't know how to process her emotions, and so she, this mom is a participant at CSE, and so they started having family therapy over Zoom, and the 13-year-old daughter was super resistant. She didn't want to hear about cancer. She was hearing about it all the time at home. She just didn't want to deal with it. And we had one of our dedicated kids licensed specialists who was facilitating that therapy session. And the first time she kind of sat like tight-lipped with her mom and dad, and she didn't say anything, and she, didn't want to hear about it. And now I think it's been 10 sessions that they've had free therapy. And now she's like, hey, mom and dad, therapy session's gonna start with CSE in like 10 minutes. You gotta hurry up and get on this Zoom. She loves it and has completely transformed their family because the therapist has really been able to explain to her parents how she's feeling and her perspective, and always kind of takes her side, and she feels very backed up in communicating, and their family dynamic it has been a lot more harmonious because of the therapy that they've all received, whether or not they realized that they needed a family therapy support group. But it goes to show you that, like, even the most resistant of people, and we see a lot of men sometimes too, they don't think it's for them. But then we have a male prostate group, for example, who've been together for 15 years, and it's like they, hang out all the time. So anyway, I don't want to take more of your time, but we really appreciate your kind words, Gail, and thank you so much.
Can I also just say, so I personally have benefited from the support center. I lost my husband 2 years ago, and my children are still benefiting from your services. So I just want you to know that.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm so grateful. The first meeting that I ever came to last year with Vistas, you guys presented, and that's when I really knew, like, I was supposed to be part of this organization. But I think the longevity of the program, that my family is still benefiting, I think it's amazing. There's nothing out there like it. So thank you.
Oh, yes, so lovely. Thank you so much. Is this a late Wednesday?
I hope that this gives you some perspective on what it is that we're accomplishing as a group. I know that it's hard work, and I know that we're all 100% volunteer, but hopefully just hearing these guest speakers, hearing from our own membership, cancer affects all of us. So just having an organization like this be around in our community is an incredible opportunity for everyone around us. So I thank you, I thank you, I thank you. And we'll just continue fighting that fight. Thank you, Jackie. Does anybody else have any questions or comments? All right. Okay, well, we will move on with the agenda, and I'd like to ask Claudia to make a motion to approve the October 20th, 2021 board meeting, general membership meeting minutes. There are copies on the front of the table if you haven't seen them, if anybody needs to look at it. We also sent them out digitally.
I'll make a motion.
Oh, great. Kim,
Do you need me to say it?
sure.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the October meeting. I second it.
Roxanne, seconds. All those in, I haven't done this in such a long time. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Motion carries. Thank you. I'd now like to welcome our VP membership, Kim Bright, up to the podium. we'd like to introduce a new provisional member.
Yes, hi, Jennifer, come on up. So Jennifer joined us after our September meeting, so we'll take this opportunity to present her. Jennifer grew up in the Pacific Palisades and moved to South Bay 28 years ago. She has two sons, Josh, 26, who graduated from the University of Oregon and works for Nike in Portland. And Alex, who's 24, Cal Poly SLO graduate, and works for Valley Sports Network in LA. So very proud mom of those two. Jennifer is a personal trainer. So, and that's where she finds her purpose in life, is to really help promote health and fitness with women and help them lead a better lifestyle. She also has an adorable Aussie doodle named Jessie. So you will often see her many times a day on the beach, walking Jessie or running Jessie. Jennifer's been a lifelong volunteer. As a matter of fact, she volunteers with the cancer support group, cancer support community. So another very close to heart, as well as PTA and club teams throughout her kids growing up. So her friends would describe her as thoughtful, loyal, generous, and interested and supportive in their lives. So welcome, Jennifer.
Welcome, Jennifer.
Sandy.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sandy. Come on.
It's our easy.
Right.
So Sandy could not attend our September meeting because her aunt was turning 103 years old. And she hosted a birthday party. So
She's still alive. She's in hospice, but she was in hospice for years, got kicked out, went back. Later.
Good problem to have.
I mean, at 103.
So that's awesome. She's married, husband John, two daughters, Adriana and Annabelle, 27 and 25. The cool thing about Sandy is that she has lived in the area her entire life. And she wrote the number down, but I won't say it.
56 years in the Riviera, 4 blocks from the house I grew up in.
She's a realtor in the South Bay. And her hobbies are cooking healthy vegan food, which I have been to some of her cooking classes, and she's amazing.
Not 100% vegan. Cheating vegan.
Cheating.
Hamburgers every once in a while.
I love it.
Lots of vegetables in between.
That's funny.
Yes. And pickleball is her other
Oh,
hobby.
shit.
How many pickleball players do we have?
Here.
That's
There
it.
you go, Cheryl.
All right. Her friends would describe her as outgoing and easy to talk to, which we just witnessed. Right? And what's unique about her is that she lives in the Hollywood Riviera, has lived there her whole life, as we stated. And her kids went to the same schools that she did and had some of the same teachers.
Oh, that's amazing.
So that's kind of cool. So this is truly her home. So welcome.
Thank you.
Sandy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you so much.
It's so exciting watching our membership grow, especially when at the beginning of COVID, I believe we had 18 active members. And right now we're growing strong and we're at 38. And we have, I think, 15 perspectives that are interested in joining us for this coming fiscal year. So Kimberly, I just want to thank you for doing an exceptional job at growing this membership during a time where we really, really needed you. So thank you for bringing on these amazing members.
I just want to say it's very easy to talk to people about this organization and how great it is and what we do. So please spread the word, and anyone that's interested, let me know. I'll track them down.
Yeah, Kim's great. Email, text, call. She's amazing and very communicative. I'd like to call up Renee Mizuguchi. There you are. I would just like to give Renee an opportunity to talk about our fundraiser that we just had and how proud I personally am of Nadia, Renee, Terry Nelson Carpenter for the incredible event that we had. So, wow. Thank you to everybody who attended, those that didn't attend, those that made a silent auction donation, anybody who reposted on social media to promote this event. It just, there's no way, we never dreamed we would gross the amount that we did, but we're very happy we did. And there's too many people to name. Those that maybe went above and beyond, I'll save that for a private message so we don't hurt anybody's feelings, but there were many who helped so much. Although we raised a lot of money, there were a couple of painful times and key learnings. And a couple of things was, one, I think we need a larger committee next time, because I have to commend Josie, because she was a member of this committee, whether she knew it or not, and she rolled up her sleeves and she jumped in, and there's no way I could have figured out creative giving without her. That was, but I'm happy we did.
Partners.
So now we're good, and we're going to teach more of you, so it's not just she and I that can do this. So that was one thing, we need a larger committee. The second thing was I didn't anticipate so much responsibility post-event. So that is something we will plan or suggest for the next time we have something like that. And lastly, I'd like to share that I really think we did an amazing job generating money. I think we could have done more. And one opportunity for us as a team or as a membership is to expand our reach. Because imagine we generated $100,000 with very few people. But if we had expanded our invites to those outside of our community, maybe our family members, maybe friends, or as Kim said, anyone who's interested in helping people, helping children, I think we could do more next time.
I agree.
But thank you, everyone. It was a
ride.
It was a ride. Thank you. As with everything, when you don't do an in-person event for 2 years and then try the first one, there's a lot of things that you take away from that. So many successes and some lessons. So we're super excited about having our spring event, and we will discuss that right after we bring up Julie Christian with our numbers.
Thank you, Josie. Hi, everyone.
Exciting. I just want to let you guys know what the income is right now regarding membership, event income, donations. We're at 125,000. Our expenses right now are 53,000. So our net profit is 71,974. I just want to thank Renee, our alumni liaisons, Renee Berliner, Lisa Smith, and Nadine Bobbitt. They have reached out, sending out emails to all the alumni, and that has been able to bring in more money for the alumni dues, which is really wonderful. So thank you to them. Our bank balance right now is $80,724. We also generated $570 for the Kendra Scott Shopping Day, thanks to Dawn. So that was wonderful. Also, lastly, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but we do have the Amazon Smile. And if you go to smile.amazon.com, you can change it to This is for Children, and we get a little bit of profit. So every time you shop, and shopping days are coming up for the holidays, so you can consider adding that to your cell phone. That's wonderful.
Do you automatically just get money after
Yeah, so every time I'm buying stuff online, and then it will just generate, it'll say, okay, $1 was, or 30 cents was donated to, This is for Children.
You may check.
Smile.amazon.com, instead of going to amazon.com, you go to smile.amazon.com and you pick this, and then it automatically saves it in your profile that every time you go to Amazon, it automatically will send money to Vistas. And if you're on Amazon by accident, it'll say, do you want to go back to Smile?
Correct.
You're like, sure.
Yeah.
It's the same exact like website. It's just, they just now craft you to be able to send to this.
So Amazon is paying $1 or
Mhm.
paying you? Oh, really?
Yeah, it's wonderful, yes.
And
So-
once, just like Megan said, once it's designated, you never have to go back to that. It's already in your profile.
You can do it on the
You'll
website.
see it when you check out,
Oh, my God.
and every little bit helps.
Yeah,
Thank you for mentioning that.
yes, no worries. That's all.
Great.
Okay, thank you.
Can I just mention Julie Christian and Julie Beckman? Julie Christian is our new treasurer, and she's been doing an incredible job. There's been a lot that we've needed to reconcile. There's been nights where Julie and I at 7 o'clock at night have both our laptops out, and we're like, okay, or did we overcharge people? Is someone gonna text us in a second? So Julie, you're doing an amazing job. Thank you. And our longtime existing, who was our treasurer prior to Dawn Onfiso, and who continues to support us through tax season every single year, Julie Beckman, thank you for being here, and thank you for always supporting us gratuitously, and making sure that I don't get arrested. So thank you. Thank you so much for that. Well, now that we've said the exciting numbers of how much we've generated, to have grossed already 125,000 after 2 years of non-in-person events is astounding right now. So considering what a small membership we started with pre-COVID. So now I'd like to bring up Megan Dufresne. Yeah, it's all good. Dufresne. And I'd like to say it the way it's spelled. Megan Dufresne, and she has some really exciting things to tell you about our spring fundraiser.
Hi, we're back. Fashion's on the horizon. We're very excited. I don't know if you guys saw in the newsletter, the theme for the spring fashion show is Rose All Day. It's a garden party, a fashion show, and we'll have our boutique as well. It's going to be a very scaled down version from what we were doing in the past at Crown Plaza. We're going to do it at the PB Golf Club. Our goal is to spend way less money and be able to grant more money, obviously. Coming into this, where we are right now with 70-something thousand is like huge. I've been around for a while now, and that's a really big deal at this point in the year. So like huge congrats to everybody that did that. Like Renee said, committees, we're on the committee train for spring. I personally did not have enough committees the last time around, so I am dedicated to delegating this time around, so I don't burn out on the fashion train. That's the plan. So if anybody would like to have anything to do with fashion show, we're gonna have a little mini meeting after this general meeting and talk about it. And there's a lot of you that have already offered to help, and I've already spoken with for committee stuff. But if there's anything that you think you may want to help with whatsoever, you speak up would be great. So yeah, that's that.
Amazing.
Very exciting. So you guys will be receiving emails, texts, signups, all kinds of information. Megan's going to do an astounding job at planning such a visually artistic, beautiful day for women. We will have a children's production, and we'll be discussing that sooner than later. I think we'll probably start with some instruction days for the children after the holidays. Typically, we start once school gets back in January, so we'll be discussing all that. We're very excited, and I think it's going to be another amazing fundraiser. Let's talk about, oh, yes,
Can you
Kim.
remind us of the date? Is it March?
March
6th.
Okay, thank you.
We originally had it on the calendar for March 13th. It was best for the club and for us at Vistas to change that date to March 6th. March 13th is daylight savings, which is a very difficult day.
We're not doing that.
especially we've lived through daylight savings on a fundraiser and it's very complicated for an early morning setup. So with the club and the contract, March 6th is the date that's going to get signed.
Is that a Sunday?
It is. It's our ladies fundraiser is always on a Sunday. Now, I call it a ladies fundraiser, but we've always had men there. It's just that that's not the majority of who attends, but typically the husbands like to see their children in the children's production. Please know that the age minimum for one of our junior vistas to be in the children's production has typically been the age of 6. But if you have a side conversation with Goalie and I, and you have a very mature 5-year-old, you know, we can probably make that work. So just, and the child doesn't have to be a junior vistas. We've had grandchildren of alumni members involved in the children's production. It's a very cute thing that we do. It's a tradition, and we're going to continue doing that. Okay, I'm going to talk about bylaws. One of the things, the learning lessons that we came away with after this first in-person gala, after 2 years, is that we need to have some safety nets. One of the things that in the 40th anniversary gala, we sold 275 seats, 4 years ago. When we took this on and we made the commitment of doing a couples evening fundraiser that was geared toward couples night out. That's why we have the casino and the James Bond theme. We were hoping to sell 275 seats. We sold 123. And one of the things as president and as the membership you guys should be aware of is that my biggest concern going forward is how can we ensure that our fundraising expense never goes over what our commitment and obligations are in purchasing of the tickets. In order to be able to justify that formula and have a number that is reasonable to actually throw an event, we've gone back and we've looked at what the obligations are, and we're going back and forth with bylaws right now and understanding what we need to increase our obligations by. We'd like to try and keep the provisional membership the way it is. That will not change. We're looking for the active membership to be 2 tickets, and we're looking for any board member to make a commitment to be responsible for 4 tickets. It's the only way to ensure that there is a formula that says, based on the money that you have commitment with, then that's how much you can spend. There should never be a fundraiser that costs $80,000 when you only bring in 125. As president and of someone who has worked really hard over the past 2 years, I want to ensure that those rules are set in stone and that we never flounder, or there's no opportunity or space for that mistake to ever happen. So just please be aware that the bylaws committee is meeting right now. We're looking at the obligations. We're also looking at creating an endowment fund. It's very important to have some type of savings account that gets invested, that if there's another global pandemic and we get shut down, but we've already signed commitments and contracts to throw these fundraisers, we need to have some type of a savings that we can pull from if we need to. So right now, what we're looking at is putting aside $20,000 each year for 5 years to build a safety net to get us to $100,000. Those funds would be in a completely separate account and it would be invested. We are very grateful and humbled that Morgan Stanley has allowed us to apply for a grant that we have been getting every year. I hope that doesn't change. Lisa Lazar just submitted that grant that Ann Lampy had submitted to us for years. That we have received through Morgan Stanley. We're in conversations with them to see how they can help us in regards to creating this endowment fund and how it can be invested. That's pretty much it on bylaws. I've read to you and hopefully explained everything that bylaws is working on right now. Does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns?
I have a quick question. I know on the board meeting, we kind of, or maybe it was on our passenger meeting, I don't remember, but we kind of mentioned that for actives, if they didn't feel that they could sell a second ticket for some reason, that they could provide 3 silent auction items.
Correct.
Valued at $100 each.
Yes,
So that way they don't feel like they have to purchase a ticket for somebody else.
absolutely.
But also, I feel like it's important, like maybe to mention that you don't have to personally buy 2 tickets. Like I can buy a ticket and I can have a friend who buy the ticket and that
Yes.
counts for 2 tickets. As long as that person is outside of this list already, that helps us get enough tickets so that that way we have a budget to, throw fundraisers.
Exactly, and just know that the executive board presents to the bylaws committee, the bylaws committee then kind of puts it together, presents what the result that they believe will be the most successful. We then take that, present it again to the executive board, then that gets presented to the general membership. It is voted on every step of the way. There are comments, questions, and concerns every step of the way. Once it's in the general membership, it's here to stay. So just please know that these conversations are happening. Hi, Roxanne.
Hi, Jesse. Did I miss it or did you not say provisional, not provisional, alumni? Alumni are responsible for anything?
Just your $100 alumni fee unless we choose to raise that. That alumni has not been discussed because you guys have never had more of an obligation than your dues. If you think that that's something that could be a possibility, I would love for you to have a conversation with Renee Berliner, Lisa Smith, and Nadine Bobbitt. Right now, we want to leave provisionals and alumni kind of untouched and put the burden on the actives and the board. When you really believe in this membership, I think it's really easy to get your friends to come on board and buy tickets. And we need to have some skin in the game, and we need to be able to justify how much we're spending. It can't be an open checkbook. That can just never happen again. So we just need to safeguard the membership. Katrina.
Hi, so I was just curious, would it deter some people from doing the board if they thought that that next obligation was so much different than the active?
I think we'll have to wait and see. I think that, we're not the first membership to ask board members to bring in ticket sales. When you look at many of the other organizations around the community, we have the least amount of obligations when you compare us to sandpipers, and we're not even remotely close to the responsibility and obligation amount that someone like Sandpipers is putting on their members. There has to be a happy medium and a compromise. And in order to ensure the longevity and the success of fundraisers, we cannot continue to work this hard to not have any assurance on how many tickets we're going to sell. You can't have a budget that large when you think you're going to sell 275 seats, but in the end, you only sell 123, but you justify the expenses on a much larger number. That's a mistake that can never happen. I see it.
I'm new, so I don't quite know all the ins and outs and how this works, but how many board members do you have?
16.
And how long are they board members typically?
So we don't really have anything in the bylaws that says that you're only allowed to be on the board for this length of time. You could be on the board for as long as you want to. But typically it seems like there's a 2-year commitment. A lot of the things with Vistas are really kind of unspoken, or pardon me, unwritten rules. It's really important for these things to be written. I would like to see less turnover. I would like to see the longer history come along so that we're not constantly reinventing the wheel. And the only way to do that is to put everything in writing.
And what is their commitment as a board member? A few meetings a year or something? Or-
That's it.
Well, it's one every month. So there's a general meeting every month and there's a board meeting every month.
But no financial commitment as a
But
board
there's no
member.
extra financial.
Oh, so they have 12 meetings a year the board members go to.
We take summer off,
Oh, okay.
and December is a holiday party. So board members are actives. So their commitment is the same as an active member. And it's time that if you're going to be a board member and you're going to help this organization grow, you have some skin in the game.
To be a board member, there are different positions, and so each year you
bring a new board, then you go out, with old board, but a lot of people stay for the same position.
Thank you.
Jackie,
The other thing that's very important in the kind of lapsed in the last several years, of course, the pandemic, movement, that people need to attend the meetings.
I agree.
And it needs to be more important to them to attend the meetings, because when they don't come to the meetings, they're not elected.
That's true. I'd like to introduce our longtime member, Jackie Andrews. Jackie's been a member, I won't say a number of years, but you have been a part of this as you have believed in it. You've always had skin in the game, and your voice is so important. And just you making a comment like that means a lot. So just look out for that. That's why it's in the agenda, and it's important for Vista's members to understand what's happening in the background.
So one more question, and I'll be done then. When you see this being a written change so it becomes concrete, are you going to have it exist for a while?
Peggy Collins and I are in the middle of, we found a member obligation document that had not been updated since 2010. Peggy Collins, who is a longtime alumni member and our in-house gratuitous attorney, said to me, when was the last time the membership obligation document was updated? I was like, I don't even know that one exists. And she went on to her old home computer and found one from 2010. I am in the middle of updating it. We're going to present that to the bylaws committee. I'm hoping over the next 2 weeks. It'll be presented to the next executive board meeting. It'll then be presented to the next general membership meeting, which I expect should be no later than January or February. I'd like to see this put into effect the latest February.
Thank you.
Katrina.
Will there be like a vote on it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There's always a vote.
Okay, and then my second question is, how was the amount of 100,000 for the endowment determined?
It hasn't really, a conversation came up that it should possibly be a year's worth of what our expenses are. Now, we don't spend $100,000 on G&A, on general and administrative fees. But my fear was, well, what if we've already signed contracts for fundraisers? We've never signed contracts for fundraisers this late in the game. Typically, you are signing them a year before. If something like this happens again, where the world kind of shuts down, but we still have financial commitments, what do we do at that point? So that's where the number came up. But again, that number can be voted on, it can be discussed and commented and adjusted. Okay. Foley, do you want to come up and talk about Junior Vistas?
So we are having our holiday wrapping party for Junior Vistas in our house, my house. And this event is for Partners for Pediatric Vision. They do have a list of toys that they would like to have. And this is, I guess, separate than the ones that we have as a chosen family.
Completely separate.
I just realized.
Yes.
So, because I had ladies asking if, yes, I want them to be sent to me, but only for this event, which we just sent out the invitation via membership planet, I guess.
Yes, member planet.
Yeah. So that's it. So it's on December 11th for Junior Vistas in our house at 10 a.m. And we're gonna do, we do want to have some toys if you would like to. Yes.
Toys or cost, price of a toy that you want, or?
There is no price, but there is a list that I can just, we have to, I guess, print it out.
It went in your member plan. It went in your email yesterday from Member Planet. If you didn't get it for any reason, just connect with us and we'll make sure.
I saw that, I just was needing clarity to see like a price.
I would say $20.
Okay, and then did you want people to help wrap them, or? did you
We
need
do
to
have
see
Junior Vistas coming and we do
I
wrap
just
it,
want the gifts.
but you can have the gifts dropped off in my house. And whenever you have time, and just write your name so we can, and what your you know, if, you don't need to wrap it, because we will do it.
But you're welcome to come if you want to help us wrap.
Yeah, and whoever, thank you so much. Yes,
So also, just to add on to that, the list that they've given for types of toys are kind of specific because they're looking at kids that have vision issues. So they're
Yes.
very tactile toys that they're asking
It's a
for.
good comment.
yes,
And that's why she sent the list with specific suggestions
Right,
yes.
as opposed to just any toy for a 5-year-old. Because
right.
some 5-year-old toys would not be appropriate.
That's a great comment.
Yes.
All these children are vision impaired in some way or another. So that's a phenomenal comment, Roxanne. Thank you. To make sure that the toys are for that.
Do we have your address for drop off?
I have to, it's not on the,
I can give it to, we can, if you directly reach out to Goalie on email, she'll let you know what her address is. And
it was on there.
And
It's on
Member
the
Planet
invitation.
has a digital directory. So if you're ever looking for someone's phone number, you log into Member Planet and you can click on directory and you should be able to get everybody's information. If someone chooses to have their information restricted, reach out to me and I will put you in touch with them.
But if the address is on the invitation. Yeah, okay, yeah, just let me know in advance, so, if you want to drop it out, so I know. That'll be good, the email address is there too. Any other? Thank you.
Thank you, Goalie. Goalie's been doing a phenomenal job. Making sure our junior vistas have something that they can do together and have that bond on a monthly basis, and it always is philanthropy focused. So having just a conversation on when all the kids are together and explaining that, you know, these kids are vision impaired and this is why you're wrapping the gifts and we're out there helping. It's just every little thing that we can do to instill that being of service to our children. So thank you, Goalie. Okay, with philanthropy, I just wanted to let everybody know that our VP of Philanthropy, Susan Ramirez, has been out on sick leave for about 3 months. And we've kept it really quiet, but now she's starting to integrate again and she's got all her stuff taken care of. And so I just wanted to let you guys know that you'll be seeing her name on email and you'll be working with her again. Lisa Lazar, Gail, and I have been kind of picking up the slack on that, but you know, we've gotten through it and we're so excited to have her back. Thank you for everyone who responded to that survey. We plan on sending out a survey at least a minimum of 3 times this year for you to vote on which grant recipient philanthropies you would like to see in your top 10. It helps us in decision making. It helps us decide what guest speakers we're going to invite. Sandy?
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
Oh, you're fine.
Oh, I was just looking at that and thinking, I don't see anything with foster kids. I wonder if in the future we could do
Several of them
emancipation.
supports foster.
Oh,
Yes.
Peace
for kids.
Also Peace for Kids.
Thank you.
Yes. And that's why it's so important to vote on this stuff. In the membership survey, there's a little paragraph under each philanthropy that gives you an idea of what it is that they do. When you vote who your 1 through 10 is, then it allows us to know who you would like to invite in as guest speaker, also to speak at our events, so that you can have some type of personal connection with them and understand why we're doing all of this. I'd now like to invite up Gail Marcom, who will be working on Chosen Families.
Thank you, Josie, and it's so great to see everyone in person. Oh my goodness, it's really lovely. Having been involved with philanthropy the last couple of years, it's nice to be able to stay connected and to support Susan, of course, and everyone, but now I'm working on Chosen Families. And for those of you who've been with the organization for a long time, we're doing things a little bit differently this year. For our new members, it's a traditional opportunity for us to support needy children with Christmas gifts. And so this year we've chosen 3 different organizations to work with, and all of the shopping will be online through Amazon's wish list. Some of you will prefer that. Some of you will miss what we've done in the past, which is being able to deliver gifts in person. to the needy families. But these organizations all are preferring to do it this way this year. So it's easy in terms of that. There is a fact sheet on the back table with all of the information. But just let me quickly mention that we'll be supporting Ridgestone. We did support them last year with Chosen Families. And if you purchased anything last year, it was through Target. They had some problems with that. Amazon wish lists are much easier. And so we'll be supporting, in their case, in a couple of individual families. There's also a fact sheet back there from Ridgestone that gives you the details on the family names and the kids and what they're looking for. But for example, when you click on the link for Ridgestone, it will take you directly to Ridgestone's list of all the items that they're looking for these children. So again, it's easy. You do have to then click on ship to, and in this case, it's the gal that's in charge of the program for Ridgestone, and it's her wish list, Jenny Fukunaga. But that's all on the instructions that you have. We're also going to send this out electronically for everybody. A couple of the links are very long. We'll be supporting Pediatric Therapy Network, which is now Momentum Pediatric Therapy Network. They've joined forces. And this one's a little different. They have a literacy program that they're working on with children, young children, ages 2 and 3. And they're putting together packets with some toys, but they want books in those packets. So our wish list for Momentum PTN is all books. And I've tested all these links and I made a purchase for each of them. One of my favorite children's books, I mean, there's tons of books on there, but one of my favorite is The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Oh gosh, it's the first thing I ever bought my granddaughter. And they want like one of those for each of the kids. So there's probably 50 that they want. You could buy 5, you could buy 1, you could buy all 50 if you chose. Although I already bought one. And then the last organization is Family Promise of South Bay. And they are having an in-person Christmas party that we've actually been invited to help with, and I'll mention that in a minute. But they expect 25 to 30 children, and they've chosen individual gifts that each of those kids would like. And when you click on their link, it will give you that, again, give you that list. And there, the books, for example, are $5 to $10. The gifts range to the $10, $15, $20 to $25 range, depending on what you choose. It's a lovely way to shop, even though it's not in person. All of the shopping deadlines are early December, and each organization, unfortunately, has a different deadline. So you have to look really carefully at that information. The Family Promise Christmas party is on December 11th, that evening. And I've committed to going and leading a cookie decorating event with the kids. And we would love to have a couple other volunteers come to do that. We don't need a lot, but we need maybe 2 or 3 additional ones. So if anyone's interested in helping with that, please let me know sooner than later. And Pete, yes, Roxy. It's a Saturday, which is a little bit hard sometimes. It's Saturday evening, December 11th.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't know the time. I'll know that hopefully soon. And then PTN may be allowing us to volunteer for their event. They're still in the planning stages of that, and they're really careful with having in-person contact. So if anyone's interested in either of those events, even though we don't know PTN's date or any specifics, they usually do some kind of event with Santa and that type of thing. So all your information is on the back table. So this is the Chosen Families fact sheet. And then there's one for each of the organizations with more details. Ridgestone has their heart. Momentum PTN is cute with Santa peeking out. And then Family Promise is actually giving you pictures of some of the kids and their ages and whatnot. So please shop and support all of these organizations, one of them or all 3, whatever you can do. So questions, thoughts, comments? Anybody else? Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Did I steal your job?
We're almost done.
I'm sorry.
We're so excited about Chosen Families. Last year was the first time that we did it digitally, and it I'm sure there were things that happened in the background we were not aware of,
Yeah.
but our membership seemed to be very happy with it, so I'm excited that we're able to do that again. I'd like to call up our provisional Patricia Blakemore. Is she? Oh, there she is. Hi. Do you want to talk about the holiday party a little bit? Katrina, do you want to come up and talk about the holiday party a little bit?
She might not do that.
Yeah, I want to.
But she's still kind of holding my hand.
Come on up.
All right, y'all. The party's gonna be at my house this year. I live on the Strand in Hermosa, right by 2nd Street. Do not drive yourself. Do not drive yourself. Do not drive yourself because there is no parking. Literally no parking by the beach. So you're gonna want to Uber if possible. We do have Santa Claus and the throne and everything gonna be there for picture opportunities for you. One of the things I wanted to talk to Josie about was I own the throne and I own the Santa suit and I own the Amana stuff. You know, you always gotta try to find it, so I just bought it. So I thought, I was thinking that we might be able to do something for the families and picture taking, since you don't really have to go that far. I have everything. So if we wanted to maybe piggyback on like a sideline event where the families want to come to my house to take formal pictures, family pictures with Santa, we probably might want to plan that really quickly because I have everything, but I just haven't planned it. So, but that evening, you know, come to my house, bring an appetizer. My house is kind of small, so it's supposed to be like 80 people. I don't know how we're gonna fit in there, so don't expect it to be roomy, but golly, we're gonna have a good time, and, right?
Yes.
Right? Also, I'm working on getting some advertising done because since I do live on the Strand and I have so many people walking by my house at all times, that I talked to Josie about, well, let's just let them think that they're not in the cool kid group. So I'm going to be putting an A-frame up about the party, even though it's members only. And then I'm going to steal this from Josie. She doesn't know it yet. And I'm putting this out there as well. So that everybody kind of knows, because, you know, membership is down. So I think the key, if we can kind of like advertise the party, even though they're not invited. Right? Because I want to be invited. Why am I not invited? And that looks like a full house and you guys look, well, we look cool, so why wouldn't I want to be? So, you know, the goal is to kind of like get them to think that maybe this is a great opportunity and they didn't know about this just because you're in Palos Verdes. And so why wouldn't I want to join? So that's kind of our hope, and to do this as a all encompassing type thing. But other than that, spill red wine on my carpet, I'd kill you. Other than that, we're all good.
Patricia is an amazing host. She has everything set up. We found a Santa. We're gonna have the Santa photos between 6:30 and 7:30. The party will start at 6. We gotta get Santa dressed and all that stuff. Provisionals and actives, please bring something of food to share and something to drink to share. That should be more than enough.
Yeah, food should not be like sit down food. You want appetizers. Really, there's just, it's going to be a moving event. I don't have seating for 8. I just won't. And we're trying to anticipate, while I can open up the front of my house and we have more room, I can't anticipate that because the weather's been kind of hinky.
Right.
So we're just kind of thinking if we do appetizers and standing and sitting and that kind of thing, it might work better.
And remember, we do multiple social events throughout the year. This is our first one this year, and it's just for members to have a good time together, bond, have conversations, meet each other. So we're so grateful for you.
I thought this is my hazing event. This is because I'm so new, but they're like, everyone's gonna come to your house. They're like, oh, great, this is great, fabulous.
And thank you, Katrina, for setting that up.
All right, so is there no gifts this year, right?
No, because we're doing everything digitally for.
No, I mean like you
our
holiday
gifts.
party, like.
So I am going to leave that up to Katrina if she wants to add an element to the party. Right now.
I'm making party favors. I do have party favors for everyone that sits on Santa's lap, for everybody. I'm making hot chocolate ornaments for everybody. So it should be something fun for everybody.
Our activity during the party is for everyone to take a picture with Santa. We're going to find a photographer. I'm working on that.
We have a musician. We have a
musician.
We have a steel drum player. He kind of plays like, have you guys ever been to a dueling piano bar? Where they're dueling, and they play that really fun music, like they're, and it's kind of like that Sweet Caroline, da, da, da. He plays that to music. And the last time we had him at our party, literally, we had probably about 50 people stop on the Strand just to listen to him, because he's a party guy. He's fun, so it'll be a good time.
So, I mean, do you need any more details?
And it's at my house, and if you guys don't come, I'll be offended, so you better come.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. Ken?
All right.
Just clarification on bringing the appetizer and bottle of wine.
Please.
Is that actives only? or
Actives and provisionals.
Provisionals as well, okay.
We just want to make sure we have enough.
You guys.
I would love, so I would love for alumni to also bring stuff, but again, it's not required.
If you're gonna eat, you have to bring.
I would appreciate that.
If you're gonna eat and drink, bring.
Thank you.
I don't know how we would monitor that, but you don't get to.
Yeah, I know. That's not gonna be my job. But I appreciate everybody bringing something to share.
All right.
Thank you, Patricia. And two more things to mention. A longtime member, Ann Lambie, who was a very special part of our organization, recently passed away. And her memorial will be on December 21st at 11 a.m. at St. John Fisher. Alumni Lisa Smith, Renee Berliner,
and lemon slice with the olive oil.
To all alumni to have you guys have the link to RSVP memorial. If you happen to know Anne and are not a part of alumni, let me know. I can get the link, and I know I'd like to see this. And to end the meeting on a fun note, Cindy Purse and Karen Onloff are planning an amazing tennis tournament. The tennis tournament is back, Queens of the Court, and that will be held at the Palos Verdes Tennis Club on January 28th. That is another social event, but there is a ticket price. I believe it's $30 for lunch and $60 if you want to play and have lunch. There's trophies that need to be ordered and things like that. So that everything that requires an RSVP goes out through Member Planet. So look out in your email for the Member Planet invites so that we can know that you're coming. Does anyone have anything else? Cool.
Yes, sorry, I forgot to mention, for wrapping party, if you're kind enough to donate any toy, please have it in my house by the 11th, because I have to give it to them. Their event is on the 12th, so the deadline is, and we're having the wrapping party the 11th.
Right.
So thank you.
So maybe even the 10th
Yeah.
would probably be a good day if you're going to donate anything for the Pediatric Therapy Network.
No, it's for the partners for.
Partners for Pediatric Vision.
Yes. Thank you.
Does anybody have anything else that I have omitted to speak about in other business? All right, that was a lot. I'm going to adjourn the meeting at, what time is it? 10:50.
And if you want to be part of the fashion show, stick around.
Thanks, guys. Oh, I did forget something. I knew I forgot something. Okay. During the gala, we had given gifts of these wine glasses. We had to sign a contract very early in the date, and we had bought 200 glasses, but I only sold 123 seats. So needless to say, I have wine glasses.
How many do we have, and should we maybe think about using them, whatever leftover, maybe fashion show?
Well, if people would like to buy them, I only have, so I have 8 of those boxes, and each box holds 6. And our cost on the glasses were $30 glass. So if anyone would like to purchase glasses, I would love to sell them. Oops, that's Renee's. So this is what they look like. I brought an example of one that box has already been purchased. I have more boxes in my home. That's it.
Before you sell them, can we use them for the party?
That's a good idea.
I can take them from the party after.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Meeting adjourned.
Let me.